Multiple stitches can be increased or decreased from the edge of any row, so long as those increases or decreases are occurring on the carriage side of the work. Use this method for increasing or decreasing more than one stitch at the edge of the work. Decreasing multiple stitches must occur on the carriage side of the work, for that's where the working yarn is, which is a required element when binding off, in most methods at least. In this example, I'm using the gate peg bind off using the latch tool, beginning by pulling the selected needles I wish to decrease or bind off to hold, and then working the decrease across those selected needles. Once I've bound off the needles required, hang the last loop formed by the latch tool onto the new selvage stitch of the work. Because we need to peel the bind off of the gate pegs, it's probably a good idea to pull at least the new selvage needle out to hold to prevent any of the stitches from jumping out of the hooks as the bind off is peeled away from the gate pegs. Decreasing multiple stitches is most commonly found at the beginning of underarm shaping and for shoulder slope shaping as an alternate to short row shaping or partial knitting. Increasing multiple stitches simply requires casting on over a new selection of needles. Again, because we're using the working yarn here, this can only occur on the carriage side of the work. In this example, I'm using the E-wrap cast on, which I've started by pulling a selected group of needles to hold and then wrapping around the shank of the needle until I've cast on across the selected needles. Because this is an unweighted self-start cast on, pull the needles to hold and knit back from hold until you've got enough knitting to hang a weight. One last note about multiple increases or decreases at the edge of a row. Because this method can only be worked on the carriage side of the work or wherever the working yarn is, symmetric pieces that might be knit, say the front of a sweater that has obviously two armholes, these multiple decreases at the start of underarm shaping would need to occur across two separate rows. This is a little bit strange for beginners, but ultimately makes no difference in the grand scheme of the sweater that you're producing.